I'm Assistant Chief David Lazar, serving as the acting chief for the San Francisco Police Department. This is an active investigation. We are still working on the details of what actually occurred. But I'll start by saying that yesterday at approximately 6:30 in the evening, we got reports of a vehicle that was driving recklessly and erratically on the sidewalk northbound on Kearney between Post and Sutter. The suspect was driving quickly on the sidewalk and it appeared to be chasing a person on a bicycle. While doing so, there were two young women that were coming out of Chipotle, one age 18, the other age 17, that were struck by the vehicle. Thankfully, they have minor injuries. The suspect continued to pursue a person on a bicycle, appeared to be like an e-bicycle. The victim on the bicycle was traveling northbound on Kearney and took a left turn to go westbound Sutter. Suspect still on the sidewalk pursued the victim and hit the back of the bicycle. The victim of that collision, which we are labeling an aggravated assault, jumped off and took off running, and we believe ran up to 233 Sutter. At this point, we haven't found that victim, and we definitely want that victim to come forward. We believe it's a Hispanic male in his 20s. The suspect then tried to take the electric bike and put it in his vehicle. He was unsuccessful in doing so. He did take some of the victim's property, put it in his vehicle, and then fled the scene. Officers within 2 minutes were on the scene. They conducted an investigation. They did a really good, thorough job trying to determine who committed this aggravated assault. They looked at video footage and other evidence, and the investigation began. And it took a few hours, but we were able to determine who we believe the suspect was. And so hours later, we figured where the suspect was located, which we believed he was employed as a security guard in front of the Dior store at Grant and Post. So after the time that we spent investigating, our officers developed a strategic plan in order to safely apprehend the suspect believed to be in that aggravated assault. At about 1:38 this morning, several officers approached the suspect, who was standing outside in front of the store. After an attempt to take the suspect into custody was unsuccessful, the officers were involved in an officer-involved shooting. The details of that officer-involved shooting are still being figured out. We're still looking at all the evidence. We don't have all the specifics on that. The officers immediately rendered aid and worked on life-saving measures. Unfortunately, the suspect is deceased, and the investigation is ongoing.
Assistant Chief, let me ask you that just so I heard it clearly. He was a security guard involved on all of this?
So we are still trying to sort it out. We haven't confirmed it. We believe that he was a security guard, and we don't know for sure if he was hired by Dior or not, but those details are still being worked out, and when we have our town hall, we'll be able to give more information on that.
And what did he do that caused officers to be fearful to open fire?
Well, that part is still under investigation. We're still determining what exactly evolved that resulted in us using force. But again, that information will be shared with the public when we have our town hall. We'll share our videos, we'll tell our story, and we'll give you all the facts.
Sir, talk to us about the cars that were, or the vehicles that were towed not too long ago. We saw some of those windows. They look to be pretty shattered. Or was that by gunfire? Can you paint that scene for us a little bit more? What is the damage to those vehicles at least?
Yeah, at this point, I don't have the facts as to how those windows were damaged. The vehicles are evidence related to the officer-involved shooting that happened here. They may be also related to the incident that occurred earlier yesterday afternoon, or 6:30 yesterday afternoon. We're still trying to sort that out. As you know, we're only hours after what has occurred.
Sir, how many officers were involved in the confrontation with him?
There are a few officers that are involved. We're still sorting out the exact number of officers that actually discharged their weapon. And again, we'll have all those facts for you when we have our town hall.
This is still an active investigation right now, so what we can release is ultimately what the acting chief has already said. So we can take maybe one or two more questions, but any particulars about the investigation itself is going to have to wait until our town hall, which is in 10 days at most.
Have you clarified with the suspect armed?
Was the suspect armed?
We're still sorting out exactly what the suspect had and what the suspect did, his actions. I will say though that upon my arrival this morning, there was a firearm on the ground at the scene that belonged, I believe belonged to the suspect. So there was a firearm. I did see it. It is evidence, and we'll explain when we have our town hall exactly how everything evolved. And I want to be very clear about something. Everything I'm telling you right now is all that I know at this point. Even our investigators are still working through evidence and looking at video, and I have not had the opportunity to really been briefed more than what I'm briefing you on.
Just to clarify, those two cars, one was a marked SFPD patrol car. The other, was that the suspect's vehicle that was also towed?
Yeah, I'm not sure what car you're referring
The
to,
GMC?
but
The
but, but yeah,
The SUV?
there is a suspect vehicle that we have taken into custody and is evidence. And then unfortunately maybe our vehicle got damaged as well. The other point I want to make is, I'll just reemphasize this, we really want to speak to the victim who the suspect attempted to run over, the Hispanic male in his 20s. We'd love for him to come forward so that we could work with him and help him. We also, if there's any additional witnesses that we may not have spoken to, we'd ask that they call our tip line at 415-575-4444.
Was it witness information that let you know about that victim on the cycle, that his description that he ran off, all of that?
We do have witnesses that witnessed the incident. We have the victims that were hit by the car. We have video evidence, so it's all of that pieced it together. The officers did a tremendous job just putting all that together, figuring it out, and then working to make an arrest.
Have you ever heard a security guard? I mean, I'm shocked. I've done this for 30 years. A security guard, you think they're protecting people, not doing this. Maybe you're not shocked like I am.
Things happen from time to time, and you just never know who's involved in what or what people are thinking, and so we just have to react to it and keep the public safe.
You guys,
Thank you
so
very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When do you know when the scene will be cleared?
Happy holidays. Thank
Do
you.
you know when the scene will be cleared?
The scene will be cleared shortly.
Okay, you just heard him.
Thank
He
you.
said
That
the scene
was
will be cleared,
David.
and I only mention that because this is near Union Square.